Right, Greg Huw is on from Science and TV, and he's got something really, really, really exciting for us to do this afternoon on a Friday. I'm really excited. It involves jelly. That's all I know. And Greg Huw will be here to explain all in just a wee while. But right now, I'm delighted to welcome back into the Radio 1 studio, into the bosom, the warm, beating bosom of Radio 1, Greg Huw from Science.
Hi, Huw. How you doing?
Welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much.
And last time I saw you was in totally different surroundings, Greg Huw.
It was, wasn't it? We had, 80,000 pairs of eyes looking at us?
Yeah, it was quite scary, actually.
Yeah, that was.
And it was Reading 2011. We were on the main stage just before Madness, if I remember correctly.
That's right, yeah.
And we were going on because you were doing the big BBC Three show, and we made an earthquake happen.
Exactly that. Yeah, we wanted to see if everyone jumped at exactly the same time and landed at exactly the same time, whether we could make the Earth shake. So we had scientists all over the place measuring the ground, and we managed to do it.
We did. It was a beautiful moment, and it's nice to have you back. Now, we're not making earthquakes today.
We're not.
But we have got something very exciting. You can see what Greg's brought in with him. So what's it all about now, Greg? We've got some jelly in the studio.
So you've been let off quite lightly, really, because last time I came in with Scott, and I got him to eat chilies, and Chris was a little bit ill after that. We got him to try to sneeze with pepper and a tissue up the nose. We also looked at swearing and the effects of cold. But you've got off quite lightly because it's Friday, right? It's been a long week.
Yeah.
I thought I'd bring you in a present, so I've got you a jelly brain.
Is that what it is? It smells really nice.
There you go. It's a strawberry flavoured.
And look at it wobbling. It's like as you'd expect in a cartoon. The jelly is wobbling from side to side.
And that is the proper size of your brain as well. That's going to be squashed in there in your skull. Wow. So I brought this in because this week is Biology Week. It's the first ever Biology Week. And right now, actually, it's just finished. There's been a world record attempt up and down the country. About 1,500 people trying a memory game.
Okay.
So I thought I'd come on, I'd bring the jelly brain, and with you and the listeners, we'd have a go at a memory challenge. Up for it?
I'm well up for it. Chris Smith from the news, are you up for it?
Always.
Okay, so how is your memory, by the way, Chris?
Memory's okay, I think.
Yeah, good.
Should be good.
Okay.
I distinctly remember doing the news 10 minutes or so ago.
Well done,
Probably doesn't go back much further than that.
I'm 31 now, and I keep forgetting names, Greg. Is this a sign of old age?
Well, I think it's also the way that you remember. I'm rubbish with names. Yeah. I'm absolutely rubbish with names. And there are certain tricks of trying to kind of draw an analogy between someone's name and maybe a famous person who has the same name or something like that, because you're actually visualising it, and that can help it stick in your brain.
Okay.
So I suppose we should first say, what is memory? Because it's one of those kind of things you go, what is memory?
Yeah.
So in your brain, you've got your brain cells, you've got neurons, and every thought you have is little electrical firings between all these brain cells, these neurons. So every thought, every memory is just a pattern of those electrical firings. That's all it is.
Right, okay.
But I can show you what your brain actually is using our jelly brain. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to dissect it for you. Okay.
Okay, brilliant.
So your brain has two sides. It's got two hemispheres. So I'm going to chop the two hemispheres apart like that.
Chopping the jelly now.
It's shaking all over the place. Now, the left hemisphere, that's the one responsible for logic and language, and that controls the right-hand side of your body.
Ah, yes.
And the right hemisphere is responsible for creativity, imagination, and looks after the left-hand side of your body.
Ah, interesting. Okay, now there's a photo of this on the Radio 1 Facebook page and on Twitter. The brain represented by the jelly.
Do you want to taste some?
Go on then, yeah.
All right, awesome. So let's have a look at, you've got two types of memory, short-term memory and long-term memory. Your short-term memory lives in the front section of your brain called the prefrontal cortex. Yeah, kind of where your forehead is.
Okay.
So I'm going to chop that bit off and serve you up a piece of prefrontal cortex. Now, this only has a limited amount of storage. So if you've ever written yourself up a list or something, when you're going shopping, science says that you can only remember about 7 items of that list in your short-term memory.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's handy because you can go to the 10 items or less at checkout.
Yeah, good point, Chris. Yeah, good point.
Good point. Right, there you go. So just passing Huw a bit of his prefrontal cortex there.
So am I eating this?
Yeah, go on, go for it.
Eating the jelly representing
strawberry jelly brain. There it is. Now, other stuff. So if you think about long-term memory, the fact that you can remember something when you're a kid, or the fact that your granny or granddad can remember something from when they're a kid, that's much deeper in the brain. And that's a part of the brain called the hippocampus. So I'll pass this over to Chris. Chris, inside this brain, I've hidden a couple of objects to represent the hippocampus.
Of course you have.
Here's a fork. Just dig in right in there, nice and deep in the brain.
Chris is going in the jelly now.
He's going right in. He's doing a bit of brain surgery. getting in with the fork. Oh, he's absolutely wrecked the right hemisphere.
That's
and have you got it? Have you found it?
yeah, what is that?
Just
it's
a strawberry. Just a strawberry.
Oh.
So that represents your hippocampus. You've got one in both sides of your brain. And that's where your long-term memories sit. But also it's responsible for spatial orientation. So, taxi drivers have to do the knowledge. They have to learn all sorts of stuff and have a really good sense of space. Yeah. So that actually enlarges their hippocampus. And they have a bigger hippocampus in their brain than the rest of us.
All the taxi drivers going, yep, that's absolutely right. We're really clever.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, it's interesting.
Proper brainy.
This is actually really tasty. So that's what's in the brain, right in the back.
Yeah, right deep down in the kind of the old bit of the brain, right in the middle. So now we know what memory is. It's just this kind of pattern of connections, electrical firings. I think we're ready to have a go at the memory game. So do you want to take a little breather, or should we just
No, let's play a song. I think we should play a song, and then we will do the big memory test. And everyone can do this at home?
Everyone can do it at home. You don't need pen and paper. That's kind of cheating. Don't write anything down. Just keep it in your head. So just everyone kind of, get psyched up, have a massage, get ready, get in the zone.
All right, cool. Chris, you're giving me a massage.
Okay, I'll come round.
And I'll play this by Asaf Avidan on BBC Radio, and some new music. Then we'll hear more from Greg Huw. So wherever you are listening to Radio 1, at home, at work, on the move, on your phones, get ready, because we'll do the memory test after the DJ Wankelmutt remix of One Day.
And think of all the stories that we could have told.
One Day Reckoning song on Radio 1, the Wankelmutt remix, that's how you pronounce it. Asaf Avidan, apparently it's been number one throughout Europe, that as well. It was Fern's big thing, and you can download it now. This is Radio 1, it's coming up to 10 to 3. It's Huw and Scott, and our science friend is Greg Huw, off the telly and off of science. So this is exciting, this is part of history today.
Yeah, so this is, they've actually just finished this world record, and they've done it. They've set a world record, 1,500 people doing the biggest memory game ever.
Right.
And we are going to take the first section of that and try it on you guys.
Okay, cool. So what do me and Chris Smith off the news have to do?
Dead easy. All you need to do, put everything out of the way, put pens and paper out of the way, put your phone out of the way, don't write anything down.
Okay.
This is just in your brain.
And you can do this at home as well.
Absolutely. So I'm going to read out a list of words, and all you guys have to do is try to remember them. Easy as that.
Okay, and then we'll play a song as soon as you finish the list.
Yep, just for a couple of minutes, and we'll come back and we'll see how well your memory is.
It's like a big game of Greg Huw went to the shops and he bought. Isn't it?
Okay, yeah.
Actually, looking at this list, it's kind of similar.
Is this your actual shopping list?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, cool.
You guys ready?
Yes.
Okay,
Ready.
hit it.
Oh yeah, hang on, sorry. Yeah, we've got an exciting drone. Yeah, memory drone.
Science. Right, here we go. Remember these. Sour, ice cream, sugar, bitter, good, taste, tooth, honey, chocolate, cake.
That's it?
That's your list.
Stressful, isn't it? Right, okay, trying to remember them. We'll play Red Light. Then we'll come back and see what happens. Remember. Greg Huw from Science is on. Okay, Greg, we've had about 2 minutes of Red Light. Sounding nice.
I've never seen you guys look so focused. It's like, don't talk. Nothing said throughout the whole of that song.
Just trying to remember.
Remember.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
What happens now?
So, before that song, 2 minutes ago, I gave you 10 words. Okay, 10 words. You didn't write them down, you've just kept them in your memory. So the question is, now rather than getting you to recall every word, what I want to do is I'm going to ask you 3 questions related to those words, and you need to answer yes or no.
Okay.
Okay, this is so for everyone else at home that heard the list of those 10 words.
Okay.
So, Chris, Huw, everyone else. Did I say cake?
Yes, it was the last word.
I don't remember.
Okay, second one. Did I say iguana?
No.
No.
I haven't heard that one.
I'd have remembered that.
Yeah.
Third one. Did I say sweet?
Yes.
Yes, I think you did.
All right.
But I might be imagining because you said lots of other things connected that are sweet.
Yeah.
So you might just be messing with my head.
I think you did.
Well, listen back. These are the 10 words that I said, all right? And see if you can hear those 3 words that I just asked you about. So, the list was sour, ice cream, sugar, bitter, good, taste, tooth, honey, chocolate, and cake. Indeed, the word sweet was not on the list. But you both think you heard it.
Yeah.
Now, this is what's really interesting. This was the whole point of this little memory test. Okay, what you thought of, that word sweet, that's called a false memory. And it's a little trick that your brain can pull on you.
Right.
And just like Chris noticed, it's because all those other words were linked to the word sweet, but the word sweet was never said.
But I really did think, I was listing the words back in my head, I really did think you'd said sweet.
Yeah,
that's weird.
That's really odd.
It's not just like I think you kind of said something like that. It's a real honest belief that you heard the word sweet come out of my mouth. And actually, if we asked 30 adults listening, 25 of them would have heard that word sweet, and they would have fully believed that they heard that word sweet.
Because you mentioned things that make us think of that.
Whereas if you ask kids, if we ask, say, 30 kids, much less of that sample actually would have heard.
Because they're
the word
cleverer
sweet.
than adults.
What I said about a memory, that a memory is just a connection, like electrical pattern in the brain between those neurons. Your brain can sometimes get confused between those different patterns. And what the scientists reckon is because adults know those associations between the words, but the kids don't. That's how us guys fall for it, but the clever kids don't fall for it.
Oh, I see. This is brilliant, isn't it?
It's good.
I was convinced you hadn't said iguana. I would have questioned that. I was going, what's an iguana? Well, that's good. So
that is it. That was
me and Chris are typical, is what you're saying.
You are typical. Yeah, absolutely typical.
I have a question.
Yeah, go on then.
Is it true that goldfish can only remember things for like 3 seconds?
I'm going to burst your bubble. No, that is not right. Actually, it's been shown that goldfish can be trained to respond. Well, one, they can do tricks, and two, they can actually be trained to respond to light and music and stuff like that. So no, that's not true.
I thought my fish was looking at me funny.
Oh, gutted. Well, Greg, that was brilliant. Thank you so much for coming in.
Very welcome.
Do you remember your way out?
Oh, I don't know. My memory's rubbish.
It's lovely having you on, and good luck with everything.
Thanks very much.
And all your scientist friends in labs around the world are listening now, going, "Oh yes, Greg, yes." They're all geeking out in the lab coats. What happens to the jelly that looks like a brain?
Do you want it?
Yeah, I'll have some more.
All right.
It's Friday.
Yeah, I'll leave it. Or you can eat it. Greg can finish it off.
Okay, perfect. We'll
You
keep
have
some
the
for Greg.
prefrontal cortex, Huw.
All right, and you have the long-term memory bit.
I'll have a bit of hippocampus, yeah.
Perfect. Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, guys.
Listen, watch, share.
Every night between 2 and 4 in the